Okay, so you're welcome to another episode of the Sit Down with Tony Asankomah right here on GH Free TV. Today we are fortunate enough to be inside the beautiful Snap Cinemas, and I'm talking to a very very big man, a very big man. He's um, the director of Ghana's first feature film to be submitted to the Oscars. You heard me right. I said first feature film. I don't want any trouble from anybody else. And today we'll be talking about his film Azali and also his career as a filmmaker. Mr. Gyansah,
Jai,
Charlie,
thanks for having me.
thank you for taking time to do this with us. Um, let's before we even get to Azali proper, um, people who do not know you only know you because of Azali. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, your career as a filmmaker.
Yeah, okay. Um, I think my career as a filmmaker really, hasn't yet taken off.
Okay.
Haven't done much in terms of film once. I trained as an accountant, professional accountant. So I think I got into film about 3 years ago, 2016. So
Wow.
that's when I started, taking film seriously. And I decided to, educate myself because, if you really need to do it, you have to do it right.
Right.
Yeah. So after some studies here and there, then we started doing a little bits and pieces of a creative space. I started with a short film, Disorder, and then when I was done with that, I think I also did something called Painted Against, it's a TV series. It's yet to be released though.
Okay.
We did it way back in 2016, even before Azali was shot. But we are yet to release it. So
Wow.
after that, then okay, so you've taken a bit of time to build yourself up. So let's try something. For me, I believe in short films, but I'm actually not a fan of short films. I feel um, if I want to do it, then let me do it. So getting a feel of it with a short film doesn't mean that I should stay there. So let me now up the game and then try my hands on feature film because film, as we all know, is experimental. And the more you do it, the more you develop yourself in terms of the space. So that has been it so far, the journey.
Wow. Something you said from the beginning that really struck me was the fact that you came from an accounting field and into filmmaking. I mean, it's such polar extremes from accounting to filmmaking. Why that choice? Why that switch?
Well, I've not switched totally
Okay.
because although I was a trained accountant, I wasn't really practicing.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't really practicing. I was more or less into management. So, trying to build a business here and there and all that. That's what I was doing. So, I wasn't really practicing. For me, even right at school, I was more interested in the managerial aspects than being a professional accountant, sort of. So, um, that was it. So for me, the the change hasn't been that drastic. Well, it is too because moving from accounting to or management role to film is some
Still,
way.
yeah,
It's
still.
still some way,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's all about human behavior and it's all about dealing with people. So if I can um deal with people at the managerial level, working with so many people, meeting so many people, learning from them, learning their stories and all that. And you will now come to a creative space where you need to apply those set of knowledge. Then it was a perfect sync. So for me, that experience has really helped because um, it gives you have a deeper understanding of life because the space that I used to work in terms of the management, I was meeting all sort of people, rich, poor, middle, and all that. So many stories that comes to you on a daily basis for you to absorb and then apply it when this new thought came up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Um, y- your first feature film, Azali, and you've been only 3 years in the filmmaking space. What made you to choose to tell a story like Azali? Because I've seen your short film Disorder and now Azali, and it's clear that you have a particular sense of social films that cause or call for social conversations or social activism. Why the choice of Azali?
I think you are right on that tangent because we like Black Star. I think the theme of their festival is
Yeah.
film as a tool for social change. So obviously, although we are telling a story, we are trying to entertain people. We are doing it for a purpose. So if your film doesn't move people, then
Mm.
basically you have not yet arrived. So as a way of moving people, if you can tell a story that touches them, people can actually feel it. It is part of their existence, part of their daily life. Then it's a way of getting across the message. So for me, um, I want to tell stories that people can relate to. Not exactly say the Azali type of stories. But every story that I tell, whether you live in East Legon or you live in Tamale or how do you call it, Sibila or however you live, it should be a story that resonates with your life, your existence. So for me, I think that is it. It should be authentic and then properly told.
All right. All right. So before we go any further with the conversation, like I said, this is the sit down with Tony Asankomah on GH Movie Freak TV. I would urge you to hit the subscribe button and you would get alerts on all our uh, latest episodes that has to do with unscripted, no holds barred conversations about the Ghana film industry. Now, Kwabena, before we even go further, I would say congratulations on all the success that you've achieved with your film Azali. How many film festivals has it been in?
I think it's been in about 10 to 12 film festivals so far.
Wow. And what was the biggest film festival in that list?
The biggest, I think, to my mind would be Tomena. I think it's in Italy. It's not so known, but I mean, from the little research I did about them, it's really big. And then you also have the Luxor Film Festival, which is
Yeah.
very prominent on the African festivals scene, and then Afrif as well. So these
Okay.
they are the biggest ones so far.
Okay. So did you make whilst making the film, did you have the Oscars in mind?
I think we did actually because before we made the film, myself, William Abeti, the cinematographer, also contributed a lot to the story itself, and then Ishmael, one of our guys, we actually went for a seminar that was organized by the committee.
Mm.
Um, Leila was the keynote speaker,
Yeah.
so they took us through the processes and then the requirement and all that you needed to fulfill for your film to qualify. So right there and then, we knew that of course this is something that we all aspire to. So we wanted to make a film that will meet that standard. So that's what we sought to do, and then we are grateful. It has come to pass.
Wow. Tell me this. What was the biggest challenge for you working on a film like that? Because I've seen the film and I can imagine having to shoot in the north, having to shoot with a actor, um, having to shoot with a well seasoned cast. I mean, what were some of the challenges that you went through?
The challenges were mainly logistical.
Mm.
Yeah, were mainly logistical because, like you rightly pointed out, moving from Accra all the way to Tamale, and not even Tamale, some, really rural part of Tamale, to be able to come out with the story was a bit challenging. And the guys have to run all over the place to make sure that it happens. So I think that was the biggest challenge that we faced on set. And then also when we came to Accra, we actually were faced with a disaster sort of. Our hotel room was ransacked.
Wow.
They took practically everything, our machines and our, how do you call it, all the rashes that we had. They took everything. Unfortunately for us, there was a backup hidden somewhere that was not in the same room too, so they didn't get access to. That was what saved us.
Wow.
So I mean, these were some of the, and then we also had an attack actually in Tamale. So basically, these were some of the challenges that we faced. But for the filming itself, um, it was smooth sailing because we had experience, like you said, we used experience, and so the casting made it quite easy for us. The casting made it because these are people who knew what they were about, and who were invested in the characters, and therefore they made directions or directing them quite easy. I mean, on set and all. So
Wow. To the casting, your lead or at the center of the film is an amazing young, fresh talent. I call her Ghana's version of Lupita. Where did you find her?
well, I think she was actually discovered by MK Casting.
Mm.
We tasked them to do the casting for the film, so they brought a set of young ladies that we could. They interviewed, actually did the screening, and then invited me to one of the sessions where I met about four young girls of Amina's type, and then we actually, although right from there, I mean, I knew she was the one I was looking for because of the pictures that I was also, I mean, playing with. So I knew she was the one I was looking for, but I actually picked all the four, sorry, three other ladies, and then took them into, a grooming session. So we're grooming them. I think we groomed them for about a month or two or so, and throughout the grooming session, we never at any point made it known to her that she was the one chosen for the part. So everybody was doing their best, and then we had a grooming coach who, I think I've forgotten her name, who was doing that occasionally also come in and then assist her, and then that's how we were able to build them up. So when we actually found them, they were raw talent, very, I mean, talented kids, but in terms of acting, they were actually not even serious about it. I mean, for instance, she wasn't serious. She was always laughing.
Mm.
So when, I mean, the session began, she started. I mean, we started building even the scenes, all the scenes that she was involved in. We're building them right in the room. So we did all that. So when we went on set, I mean, it was just a matter of recollection, and she delivered amazingly.
I mean, if you've seen this film, you know the girl we are talking about and how awesome her performance is was in the film. And if you haven't seen it, this is one of the reasons why you need to go watch Azali. I mean, excellent, amazing performance and delivery from a first timer. Yeah, let's go a bit deeper. Okay, one of the challenges that people talk about when it comes to our film industry is financing. Okay, I have seen Azali. I have seen a cast lineup. I have seen the caliber and the pedigree of the production um, um, crew that worked on the film. How much did it cost to make this film?
Well, it costs a bit, but I don't think it's actually out of the market. I mean, we didn't price ourselves out of the market. I think it's a standard budget for any Ghanaian movie because I've
Okay.
seen what is out there. I don't think we deviated that much. So, although I don't want to be specific, but it didn't cost so much. Like,
So
I mean, the quality in terms of what you are getting.
okay, so it's
Yes.
in the standard budget of. So are you saying that there are people in Ghana who could have like
Well,
who could have
I know
equivalent?
of films that, I mean, shot in Ghana or produced by Ghanaians that probably are doing maybe twice or uh, yeah, twice or even three times what we did.
Mm,
So that's what I mean by standard budget. We
mm,
didn't really go out of budget. So I mean, it was okay because apart from the four main central characters, we really used sort of new actors.
mm,
So it was a matter of spending a little bit on these known faces,
mm.
um, and then traveling to the north, and then it was about accommodation and feeding. So the key cost centers were just this area. So it was manageable. It was
It was
something.
manageable. Wow. Um, Now let's look at this. You are Ghana's first feature film to be submitted to the Oscars. I'm getting it right too. First feature film. No one should come at me. Yes, people are saying all kinds of things, but for the record, this is Ghana's first feature film submitted to the Oscars. How does that feel?
Well, I think it's a great feeling. I mean, we are humbled by it because to set out to do something and to actually do it, I mean, that is an achievement on its own. So we are grateful for, I mean, all the support we have received so far, and I mean, we are thrilled. We are thrilled by
We're
it.
thrilled.
Yeah, we are thrilled
Right.
by it.
Um, Now I'm going to ask you this, like, to be honest, do you believe, looking at the films that have been submitted and are contending to be nominated in that foreign language film category, do you think you stand a chance?
I think we stand a very good chance because I've seen Roma,
Okay,
and I'm sure you've also seen
I've seen
Roma.
Mama.
And if you've seen Roma, and you count Roma, I actually won Best Foreign Language Film last year.
Mm.
It even went ahead to win Best Cinematography and I think Direction or
Yeah,
something for also. So seeing Roma and seeing Azali, I mean, probably they spent
mm.
millions of dollars, but looking at what we have, I think we have a good chance. It's a matter of how we can campaign to get noticed and then see where it takes us.
Yeah, speaking about campaigning, of course, now there's a lot of weight on your shoulder, as in you now have to get the word out there so that people know that Azali is a film to look up at to. And also, I believe it brings a lot of focus or attention to the Ghana film industry, because if you are able to make a film of this quality here, then it means that there's value for money when it comes to production here in Ghana. Don't you think, or wouldn't you agree with me that it's now left with the government or whatever corporate agencies that have the interest of the Ghana film industry at heart to back this film one way or the other?
I think that's exactly what we are expecting because at the end of the day, um, Roma, I'm sure they spent, I hear about $10 million or so. I don't
Mm,
have that kind of money.
mm.
So obviously, if we need to campaign and get notice as we should, then we should get some support, especially from the agencies and agencies connected with film
Okay.
in the country. Because at the end of the day, when I was submitting Azali, I didn't submit it in my name.
Mm,
Um, the first name that comes is Ghana.
mm.
So the film is submitted in the name of a country. So I think then as Ghanaians or as people interested in film, we should come on board and see how we can push the film. Because if you are pushing Azali, know that you are pushing the industry. It means, I mean, there's something good out of the industry. The industry is not entirely dead as some people tend to think. So I'm expecting agencies, corporate bodies, and all that should come on board and see how we can get the message out there.
Right. Um, Speaking about the business sense of filmmaking also and how lucrative film is here in Ghana, to be honest, I want to know, has the investment that you put into this film, have you been able to recoup it?
Um,
Because I ask this because Azali is a social film. It talks about a serious issue, and there's a lot of argument in our space that films like that do not sell or are not profitable because it's basically not a commercial film, more or less. Have you been able to recoup your investment?
I would say yes or no.
Okay.
Yes and no because I mean, in terms of getting back what you invested, there are two sides. One is the financial, and the other is getting the benefits that
Mm,
is beside financial. Because this is a film that we've made, and although the money hasn't come back completely, it's coming in trickles because the film is still out there. The distributor is still pushing it. So although we've gotten some monies coming through, but it's yet to even do some theoretical releases in
yeah.
some countries yet. So we expect that it will pay off. But I also say that it's not been a loss completely because this is it's a film that has put us at another. I mean, right now I'm
Level,
here
yeah.
talking to you. Yeah. So
You
yeah,
make it sound like I'm
of course, yeah,
okay.
you are the guy. So I'm here talking to you. So that's a benefit. It puts you. So if you are starting a career and then you get noticed through an investment of a
Mm,
sort. I mean, we spend money to go to school to learn, and we expect that it will pay off in a number of years. some spend, say, thousands of dollars to go to film schools outside to go and learn and come back. So if you actually spend some money to invest in the practical, I'm not saying education is not
Yeah.
good, but this is all part. There are
Mm.
great filmmakers in the world who actually didn't go to film
From
school.
school.
Yeah. So it will pay off eventually.
Mm.
It will pay off eventually. And also, I also like see film as an asset because I'm someone who enjoys classics a lot. I watch 1940s, 30s films and stuff. Unless, of course, in Ghana, you pirate a lot. But
Mm.
if you want to watch such films, you buy.
Yeah.
You have to buy to watch. So it's an asset that we only have to make sure that, it's not out there for people to either watch it for free or distribute it for free. So eventually, it will pay off.
I believe basically what you're trying to say is once you make a film that is that good, it becomes like a classic. The results are not
Immediate.
immediate, but in the long term, once it's a classic and it's in high demand, it's more long lasting than
More
something
long lasting
that you
because
put out.
Azali was, I think we premiered it in October last year.
Yeah,
We are in October already.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's almost a year.
it's
It's a year.
yeah, it's almost a year, and we're still talking about it.
Mm.
Yeah, so but I'm sure there are movies that probably came out in January or
Mm.
yeah, later part of even this year, and they've died of the scene. So if you do a good movie, like I am speaking to you now, we are still exploring avenues to get the film out there to bring in something. So if you do a good movie, that can, last for a year or two. Like for instance, Peter's Kitike.
Yeah,
The film
it's
is
in its
still,
second year.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's still
going to its
doing
third
out,
year.
yeah, doing well out there. So you will not expect that with. I always say, Ghana, we have only one cinema, a silver bed at Accra. You wouldn't expect that you do a film of this size and you go to a silver bed and you get your money back. It won't happen. It will not happen because I don't want to go into the, but it will not happen.
I understand.
So it means you need a film that is enduring, that can,
Take you around the
take
world.
you around the world, that can open doors, that can bring in money slowly but gradually and all that. For me, I believe in that than the one cinema culture. You meet everywhere you go in today, you make a few cities, and tomorrow the film is off.
Okay. All right. So you've heard it right here from the director, producer of Azali, Ghana's first feature film submitted to the Oscars. We are just hoping that it's able to meet all the requirements and get selected, and we get all the glory as a country. Come now, before we wrap up, last question. What is your favorite film of all time?
Favorite film of all time?
Yeah.
Uh, I have one. Give me a second. I think you have to ask the question again. I think it will be Phantom of the Opera.
Wow.
I don't know, but I'm not a musical person, but I like musical films. So Phantom of the Opera is the film that it's always with me. I have it right here as we speak. It's always
Okay.
with me, and it's a go-to film that I enjoy.
Well, I know it's a classic. I haven't seen it
I haven't
yet,
seen
or
it.
maybe I have, but I would definitely look it up and then.
Phantom
I
of
too.
Gerard Butler. Yeah,
Alright. The Butler.
yeah, Gerard Butler.
Or Gerard
He
Butler
played
is,
it.
is
Yeah,
oh okay,
he
okay,
played
okay, okay.
the Phantom.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Then I'll definitely look out for it. Alright, so thank you for your time and yeah.
So much.
Alright. So yes, this has been the sit down on GH Movie Free TV with me, Tony Asankomah, and yes, we just spoke to a very big man. I'm happy I've interviewed him. So when he goes to the Oscar, he can give me a shout out, and yeah, I'll be taking the fans. So yeah, before I go, I'll leave you with these few words. If you want quality equipment to rent for your shoot, um, no matter what the production is, if it's a short film, a feature length film, a documentary, or even event coverage, I would advise you to go to Anansi Video Equipment Rentals. You see the number scrolling down on the screen, and um, they've got all the top of the line equipment from lighting to sound to cameras. You should check them out. And yeah, And yeah, big thank you to the big man William Kojo Agbeti. He helped in-house camera guy to capture this very dope interview. And yes, that's one for the credits. Thank you, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.